Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. My mom was a lingerie model in her time. She started modeling as a child and soon grew into the business. By the age of 15, she was doing shoots in those skimpy bikinis, attracting all sorts of attention from all sorts of men. So it was not really a surprise to her family when she got pregnant at the age of 15. She refused to tell who the father was. To this day, I do not know who my father is. She said she's not sure who got her pregnant, but I'm pretty sure that she knew exactly who, and she was not telling because of the chunk of money that she was receiving for not doing it. I do not blame her. A girl got to do what a girl got to do: survive in this cruel world. She moved out of her parents at 17 and she was financially stable. Well, till a time. After she turned 20 and I turned 4, the money from the secret daddy suddenly stopped coming and people refused to click her because now she had stretch marks all over her belly. Things got hard. I remember how she became, even though I was young, I remember my mother going crazy as clearly as day. First, she swore off to ever giving birth again, and then she started to look for love, a new man every week. I do not know how she put food on the table, but she somehow always did, using her looks one way or another. She sent me to the best schools and colleges. She moved with me everywhere. In all this time, she got married thrice. One when I was 6, another when I was 11, and then the last one I was 15 when she married him. Now I'm 22. I was proud of her for sticking this long until she told me this. So she had been sitting around in this elite groups of trophy wives thanks to her high-end husband. And it was there that she got this ridiculous idea of doing a husband switch. At first, I laughed it off, saying that she was gone crazy, but when she kept talking about it, I realized that she might be serious and told her not to even think about it. Her marriage is finally going great, and I am okay with this guy even if I'm not ready to call him my dad. She said it will just be for a day and she just needs to try it. She had been with her current husband for so long that she forgot how the spark felt, and that if it keeps going on like this, there might be another divorce in store for her. I told her that she had gone insane and said it is a big no. A couple of weeks had gone by. I thought that she was done and lost the ridiculous idea when I find her in my apartment's kitchen, butt naked, with a man I had never seen. He was screwing her on my kitchen counter and did not stop even after spotting me. I dropped a newly bought glass vase on the floor and screamed at my mother to get off my kitchen counter at once. God, it was a horrible sight watching your mom get screwed like that in your home. I need to wash my eyes with acid after that. After me yelling at her when she was doing, she stood there naked. I threw her clothes at her, which were on the floor, and asked to put them on while I told the unknown 40-something man to get the hell out of my house. And as soon as he was dressed, he kissed my mom, like he would swallow her right in front of me, and then spanked her ass on his way out. My mom and I had been open about such things. We were almost like friends, but this was hell mortifying. Being open and friendly with your parent is fine, but not at a level that they start to think breaking into your house and getting rammed at your kitchen counter in front of you is okay. Dear Lord, I can still not get that picture out of my head. It is like it has gotten burned in the back of my mind. After she was dressed enough so I could look at her, I asked her what this was. Even if she had to cheat on her husband, why do it at my apartment out of all the New York City? And she said she did not cheat on her husband, that he knew she was here. I looked at her like she was crazy. I just could not listen to her anymore at the time, so I told her to get the hell out of my house. She called me ungrateful and mannerless and smashed the door on her way out. Mannerless? Said the one getting screwed over her daughter's kitchen table in front of her. I tried to ignore it and not to think about it all, but I just could not. So I called Rick, her current husband. I asked him if he knew where my mother was or what she was doing this evening. He seemed to know the reason for my curiosity, as he told me exactly what I did not want to hear. He knew everything. It was their little arrangement. He said that my mother mentioned the switching husband thing to him. He did not like the idea at first, but when he shared it with his friends, they all seemed to encourage it, saying his wife is so hot and how they had been fans of hers since she was a teenager and whatnot. So he decided to give it a thought. While my mom was being screwed by his friend at my place, he was screwing that friend's wife at her place. They did not do it at their own house because they wanted it to be a pure place just for them. What did they think my place was? A motel? This was unbelievable. I hung up, but not before telling him that he was a freak, and so was my mother. I stopped talking or meeting my mother after that incident. I even got her and her husband blacklisted off my building so that they could not use my place again for their cheap, freaky adventures. Am I the a-hole or prude for doing that? Guys, it's been 4 months since I talked to my mom or even saw her. New York is a big city and she's a busy woman, so it only made sense until yesterday. It was my birthday yesterday and she showed up at my work. I was surprised to see her, but also very happy. I had missed her, and despite her weird habits, she was my mom and my best friend. She gave me the tightest hug and cried a little, telling me how much she missed me and how much she could not wait for my birthday to come around so that she could finally have an excuse to come see me. Her husband was also with her. He also gave me a hug and wished me a happy birthday. I politely said thank you. To be very honest, I kind of lost the respect for this man since that day. I mean, what kind of man would be ready to share his wife? Even if the wife wanted to be shared, I had no choice, my mother's matter. I only got one and I needed her. The husbands I did not really care enough about. But then they took me to a hotel, saying it was just my birthday dinner, but it was actually a party. Everyone I loved was there, my grandparents, my best friends from high school, and my boyfriend. It was the most amazing party ever. Everything was in the shades that I loved, and this was not even the best part. Just when I was about to go hug my mom and say that I forgive her, she gives me my birthday present, a car. She bought me my dream car and then asked me to forgive her. She told me that was the only way to save her marriage. They already started to lose the connection. It was getting harder for them. And now, after trying those new things, they feel more closer and comfortable with each other. I forgot everything and hugged her, saying that it was all good and whatever makes her happy will make me happy, and that she need not be ashamed of that anymore. I accept that exactly the way she is. Guys, I love my mom. I had the worst night of my life last night. It was my mother's funeral. I am updating after 2 years. After the birthday, everything went back on track with our weekly lunches and random shopping sprees. She would tell me about the new guys she was hooking up with all the time, and even though I did not love it, I accepted that because I thought that is what my mother needed. But 8 months ago, she got diagnosed with HIV. All that unprotected sex with all the random rat dudes and the friends of her shitbag husband got his STDs. When she first found out, she tried to keep it a secret. She was so embarrassed, but then one night she burst through my doors crying and told me all about it. I told her not to worry and that the medical science is so advanced now, no one dies of HIV anymore, and that she will be better in no time. But along with her physical health, her mental health also started to decline because she and her husband started to have fights, and he refused to sleep in the same bed as her, calling her names and everything. By the third month of the disease, she was basically living with me. I know if she was not on her deathbed already, she had been getting another divorce. I would have taken another one of her messy divorces than a funeral, though. I hate that she's gone, and I feel like it is my fault that I should have been more stubborn and stopped her, or I should never have let her marry that man. He was no man if he liked that sort of arrangement. But we could do nothing now. My mom died of HIV last week. I tried to blame her husband for it. He was not even with her when she died. But I could not. She was so embarrassed that she got HIV. She made me promise to not let anyone know. That if she dies, make up some disease or say that she killed herself, but not tell them the real reason. So I cannot blame him because for everyone, my mother died of suicide. It was easy to believe too, because she had suffered from mental illness all her life. Oh my Lord, that was one hell of a life story. She had a life a lot like Marilyn Monroe. Now I wonder if she had died of something shady and they covered it up by making things up. Anyway, do not blame yourself. I think your mom had a pretty fun life and went without any regrets. I have heard about people sharing or exchanging their spouse. I have always opposed to it, and now I feel so much better about it. That is what happens when one gives in to lust. May her soul rest in peace, but the kind of things that she did deserves a taste of hell. And yes, you are the a-hole for letting your mother do that or accepting her doing all that. I have two daughters, Lena, 13, and Zoe, 17. For their schooling, I've always encouraged them to try, rather than caring about grades. I've always found work ethic, resilience, and responsibility to be more important than smart alone. So I would say that what I always focused on. School is properly back this year, so my wife and I decided to reward them if they did well. I would say the expectations were clear and about them behaving well rather than grades. The girls' semester report came out yesterday. While the main focus is academics, each subject also grades and comments on behavior in class. Lena got mostly C's, but she struggles with school, so that's an achievement for her. Her teachers all graded her behavior as perfect and mentioned how she was clearly trying and everything. Zoe, to put it very crudely, basically had all but one of her teachers saying that she's extremely smart, almost straight A's, but a complete AH and a problem in class. So, in my opinion, Lena should be rewarded, but not Zoe. Still, that night we took them both out and celebrated finishing the semester. We did say we were proud of them and everything, but today I talked to Zoe about what her teacher said. She says it's not her fault her teachers suck and are boring, which may be true, but she still can't be rude or distract others. Zoe really wasn't happy about the discussion and got upset when I told her that she wouldn't be rewarded. She basically thought her grades should mean it's fine and that I'm punishing her when it's not her fault. I decided to leave the discussion for later, when she was calmer, but made it clear that while I'm disappointed in her acting up, I do still love her and am proud of her doing well score-wise. By this evening, it seemed to have calmed, but Zoe overheard Lena talking to my wife about deciding on her reward and got angry again. She said it's unfair that Lena's getting rewarded for bad grades, but she gets nothing for A's. I tried to take her aside and talk to her, explaining that it wasn't about the grade, but she didn't take it well and claims that we love Lena more and are favoring her. That it's unfair that she has such lower standards to meet, but that's not the case. My wife feels bad and changed her mind and thinks that maybe we should reward her with something since she did so well academically and it was a struggle to adjust given everything. But I don't think we should reward her for misbehaving, even if she scores well. If she acts up, it can harm other students. I know that happened back when I was in school. I haven't changed my mind and I don't think it's wrong. But my wife clearly thinks that it's an AH move. Our eldest is clearly bored as hell in school. Are you guys, the school, making more of an effort to challenge her on an academic level? I'm making an edit because this appears to be the top comment. OP, oldest, has Asperger's, meaning she literally has difficulty communicating and socializing. YTA OP, big time. This is something that you and her teachers need to learn how to work with. High functioning or not, she thinks and processes differently. You choose to leave this out of everything for the most part. She is not your normal, neurotypical child. YTA, if you don't reward her for the good grades, she will see no point in even trying next year. Could her attitude be better? Absolutely, but that's a completely separate issue and could probably be addressed by challenging her more academically. Even if you can't afford accelerated classes for her, you could research extracurricular academic options that she could do at home or look into scholarships. The point is, you want to encourage your kids to work to the best of their ability. Failing to reward either of them for doing that will result in them no longer even trying their best, which will have damaging long-term consequences for them. Treat the behavior attitude by working with your daughter and the school to ensure that she's being challenged to her full potential, but reward the fact that she did well academically. I, 25 female, have had several plastic surgeries over the years. I don't look model plastic-like, but I do look good. My dad's 48, STB wife, Jocelyn, 50, is against plastic surgeries. She has never been directly rude at me, but she has made comments over the years to make clear that she hates and disapproves of them. It also doesn't help that 2 of my most expensive surgeries were paid by my dad as birthday gifts. Now I'm a bridesmaid at their wedding. I was about to say no when I found out that this was a special requirement from my dad since Jocelyn's own son will be a groomsman. So I decided to say yes. put on a smile, and do pretty much whatever she wanted. Instead of going dress shopping, she's encouraging us to wear something that we already own and goes along with her own dress. She gave us 3 colors: lilac, olive green, and beige. As soon as she said that, I knew what I was wearing. I have this beautiful olive green dress with a turtleneck and big sleeves with a letter stitch. It shows a bit of skin on the back, but nothing too scandalous. However, since there's already bad blood between us, I decided to keep it safe. Yesterday, I went to their house and showed the dress to Jocelyn to get her approval. She said it was cute, but that I didn't need to worry because she had something for me. And with all due respect, proceeded to pull the most ugly lilac dress I've ever seen. She asked me to try it on, and I agreed. I look like a pencil. I look like a pencil with no shape. And she was delighted. I just said, sorry, but I can't wear this. And she asked why, and I said, it just wasn't for me. I asked if I could show her how my dress looked on me, and she agreed reluctantly. I tried it on, and it's so cute, but she hated it. She accused me of trying to take the spotlight and that I should just wear what she wants me to. I said no, that we could try some more of my dresses, but I wasn't wearing anything of hers. She immediately went to my dad, and he sided with me, saying that it was just a dress and that hers was more beautiful. And it is. She has the most amazing dress I've ever seen. But she accused me of being an AH for not giving in. And IDK, am I? TA, the fact that you have conflicts, but she happened to have a dress she wants you to wear despite the party being expected to source their own, indicates malice to me. Unless you are concealing details about your dress, her object is to make you look bad. Or she has self-esteem issues with her appearance. NTA, she said for y'all to wear something you had, but then changed that just for you? She seems jealous of you and petty. Honestly, talk to your dad and tell him you're happy to be there at the wedding, but you don't feel that she really wants you as her BM. Just a thought. When my dad got married last time, I stood up on his side. Maybe you and her son could swap and stand by your respective parents.